Welcome to First and Now, your weekly look inside the Lions Den, presented by Coors Light, the official beer and chill choice of the BC Lions. Get ready for highlights, exclusive interviews, and a preview of this week's big game. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker, and the voice of your BC Lions, Bob the Moj Marjanovic.
All right, new season, new intro. I like that. You heard the man. It is First and Now, brought to you by World Vision Canada, national charity partner of the BC Lions. Visit bclions.com/worldvision to become a supporter. And we're doing this live on 730 CKNW and wherever you get your podcasts. And we are on location live at Good Co on Main Street. Shout out to Jason and everyone here for taking care of us. It's Matt Baker along with Bob Marjanovic and Nik Kowalski. We talked about this last week, did a little episode in Kamloops. Moj joining us for the duration every Tuesday night here on CKNW, and it's feels good.
Yeah, we're back to talking football. Season's just about to start, so looking forward to this weekend and quite the exciting night on Saturday with Snoop in the house and,
yes,
of course, the season opener as well.
Nick, what's going on? We were talking about practice. It was kind of like we hadn't left Sur. We've only been back from Kamloops for just about 72 hours, but good vibes out there. You were both on hand.
Yeah, it's starting to feel real. You know, it's a little bit of a different go-around this year with preseason on the road 2 times, technically, instead of that last game at BC Place. But it always feels real the first day back at Surrey. And seeing all the guys that cracked the roster for the first time out here, seeing Nathan Rourke with the first-team offense, Buck Pierce, obviously. So it's feeling real.
Yeah, it's not a cast of thousands either when you're watching practice. The numbers are reduced, obviously. So still a lot of extra bodies floating around the facility, and that'll probably get trimmed down in the coming weeks. But at the same time, yeah, you're right. It's a different feel once you get back to the facility.
Yeah, and some positive news talking about the roster. The injury report sent out about 2 o'clock. A lot of questions about the likes of Anu Una. He was out there limited, took part in some individual. Marcus Moore, another guy who actually got nicked up in Langford, right? He was in concussion protocol, limited. So that's
and the weird thing with Marcus Moore is, like, he felt good for 2-3 days after that, and then it kind of caught up to him, right? So just kind of weird how that all played out, because he came back in that game and finished and then was okay for practice for a couple of days, and for whatever reason things just kind of started bugging him, and obviously he's been out since then.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having one of these longer practice weeks. Guys like Una and Moore, and they'll have some more time to get accustomed, have a couple more days to test it out. Una with the ankle, Moore again with the concussion protocol. It's it just kind of dawned on me too. We're going to tee up the Lions and the Elks on Saturday at Save On Foods Field at BC Place. Start talking about some of the exciting things a bit later on happening outside. The tailgate backyard party getting underway at 2 o'clock. But Edmonton comes in here a rejuvenated bunch, Moj. I mean, we saw firsthand in preseason when they had their starters in. That's a team that attacked the offseason, attacked free agency. Right away, this Lions team facing an opponent that wants to make a statement that they're better.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Trey Ford, of course. He's the big story in Edmonton, gets the starting quarterback position. They've made some improvements on defense. They've brought some bodies in. So it's going to be interesting to see how – and the Lions are in the same boat. I mean, they've brought in some players. Both teams have. It's going to be interesting to see who gels quicker and find some cohesion.
First 4 games, in fact, against Western opponents. Edmonton, back-to-back with Winnipeg. Boy, oh boy, that's going to be fun right off the hop. And a trip to Saskatchewan to close out June, Nick.
Yeah, and what do you think about Western Division football? What's the first thought that comes to mind? It's usually the run game, Brady Oliveira and Winnipeg, AJ Ouellette and Sask, but this Elks team, too, I'm looking to see what they're going to be doing with the run game, too, because Trey Ford, obviously a dynamic quarterback, everybody knows that, but a guy like Justin Rankin in the backfield, he's projected as their RB1 this year. He was really good last year against us in August when they collectively, I think, rushed for him was 200 yards.
And don't go to sleep on Javon Leake either.
Yeah, him too. He's a weapon out of the backfield too.
Downhill runner, yeah.
And how this offense is all going to get tied together too. Don't forget, Jordan Maksimic is the offensive coordinator out in Edmonton, formerly of the BC Lions. So to see what he does with Trey Ford, we've seen him already work with a Canadian quarterback in Nathan Rourke, but to see what that offense looks like with Trey and Jordan is going to be an interesting facet in week 1.
Yeah, and being in Edmonton for preseason, it was like a reunion. look up, you see Jordan, you see Jason Tucker, you see
Manny Ragumba,
Tristan Dice, Manny Ragumba,
Alexander
Hollins. Yes, unfortunately did not make the Elks' final cuts, and we hope he's okay health-wise. Hope to see him bounce back at some point. Obviously, the quarterbacks, we've hit on it a bit, going to be the big storyline here. Nathan Rourke and Trey Ford. How about this? Hopefully I'm not spoiling any trivia here, Nick, but the first all-Canadian starting quarterback matchup since August 20th, 1968. It was Pete Oler for the Lions, Frank Cosentino for the Eskimos at the time. You didn't cover that game, did you? I don't think. No,
I did not.
But that's a cool little nugget, right? I mean,
Pete Oler, Vancouver College product, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
spent some time at the University of Washington. And I know he kind of came out and helped out at UBC way back in the day when I was there. So, yeah, I mean, you got Canadian versus Canadian. And, the cool thing, too, about this matchup is it's not two Canadian quarterbacks that are just, playing because there's a certain sort of circumstances, injury, you name it. I mean, these are two star marquee quarterbacks in the league.
Just athletes too, right? I think we were trying to beat this drum throughout camp. With Nathan Rourke, you think of his arm and all the passing yards he put up too, but he's been deadly with his legs too, and he's shown in camp that he wasn't afraid to use them. The conversation I always think back to, Baker's, when we had I can't remember the name, but that Ohio-based reporter, we were talking about Nathan, where he says that Nathan naturally braces or bounces off contact because it's like the thing when you get in a car crash. If you brace for a car crash, that's when you're going to get the worst impact. But with Nathan Rourke, he embraces it and bounces off of it. We saw that a lot in 2022. I know it was the famous last words. Can Nathan Rourke get back to that 2022 level? But all signs in camp, in my opinion, have pointed to that direction.
Yeah, and he's a perfect 3-0 against Edmonton in his career. You mentioned 2022. Two unforgettable blowout wins at home, including the first concert kickoff it was with one Republican town. So, again, people expecting him to hit that 5,000-6,000 yard pace. Maybe don't expect too much, but I don't think had a good offseason
to expect that pace right off the get-go. I mean, he's still learning this offense. There's still going to be situations where, he's getting used to the offense. Buck Pierce is getting used to what Nathan is capable of doing. So I don't think it's fair to say it's going to be 2022 Nathan Rourke, but I'll guarantee one thing. He's going to be closer to 2022 than he was to 2024.
No doubt about that. And I think it goes with his cast too, right? He got a full offseason of Keon Hatcher Sr. We've talked about that a lot. Justin McInnis, his camp showed that last year's production was no fluke. Aiden Eberhardt, Stanley Burial made some strides. And even a guy like, I don't think it's fair to say that we're sleeping on Jermaine Jackson here, potentially getting involved in this offense. Kind of the preseason darling in the offense for the team. And even to round it all off in the backfield, a guy like James Butler's back.
Yes, and we're going to hear from JB coming up in just a little bit. One of two special guests on hand, Keon Hatcher. We'll talk to him in just a couple of minutes on getting back to a full off-season prep. We talked about Nathan Rourke having his full program. Hatch, of course, all healed up after starting last year on the 6-game injured list. Should tell everyone very quickly, in addition to the two guests, we'll have the return of Nick Kowalski's world-famous trivia. I'm a little nervous tonight. I'm worried you got something hard up your sleeve here, but
No, if you've been studying the roster, you guys should do good.
Okay, good. All right. Better memorize those New Jersey numbers then, too, right? For those fans in attendance here at Good Co on Main Street, we have $4 Coors Lights, $17.50 Smash Burgers. The Uproar Dance team is here as well, so we're really we're going big here in Week 1. 71st season of BC Lions football, and we'll promote all the fun activities happening both inside BC Place and outside. The backyard party gets going at 2 o'clock. But without further ado, coming up here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to bring in number 4, Keon Hatcher. It is First and Now, live on location at Good Co on Main Street on 730 CKNW and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to more of First and Now, presented by Coors Light. Once again, here are Matt Baker and Bob the Moj Marjanovic.
And young Nicholas Kowalski. We can't forget him. Yes. Matt Baker, Moj, Kowalski. Say it again. First and Now, presented by World Vision. We're on 730 CKNW at Good Co Main Street. And by the sounds of the excitement in the break, Must have been giving away some prizes. I tell you what, these tickets for Concert Kickoff, a very hot commodity. They are selling fast. So if you're on the fence, head to bclions.com and be there. Keon Hatcher entering year 5 with the BC Lions. He just got back from Kamloops, a place he knows all too well, and he's good enough to join us on location. Keon Hatcher Sr, I should say. How are you?
I'm good, Big. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
We're excellent. The vibes are good. Excitement's high. You know what it's like. Everyone's 0-0. Everyone's optimistic. But if you can put it into words, just what you're feeling right now after another training camp, new coaching staff. How are the vibes right now?
Excited. Very excited. It's game week. Like you said, new coaching staff, like whole new everything. I feel like the whole team's excited, and it's going to be a good weekend.
We saw you in Kamloops. I asked you about the offense, and you had one word. You said fire. Right?
Fire. Fire.
What has you stoked up about the offense specifically?
Just how it's taught, the things we're doing, the places we're attacking in the defenses. I feel like it's always an answer to whatever the defense is giving them. It's not really about what they do. It's about what we do. So just excited, man. I feel like just across the board, everyone's excited about it.
Every defense, as you know, has a weakness, right? And it seems like from what you're saying, this offense is geared to exploit that weakness every single time, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Nathan Rourke, we touched on him as well. What are you seeing from Nathan thus far?
He's ready. He's ready to do his thing, do what Nate does, and, step back up to the plate.
As Baker mentioned off the top, it's year 5 for you now. I'm going to keep this kind of simply put, and you can take it where I want you, but are you kind of like the de facto voice or the leader of the receivers now, or how does that all shake out now?
I would say so. I'm the oldest one in the room, so I would say so. But we got some good, older guys, vets, Justin McKinnis, Katoy. So we're pretty well rounded in that area, and we just keep the group going.
What about the first years you've seen? So obviously Jermaine Jackson makes the roster. Seven McGee is still here. Even second years with Ezekiel Tied making a big jump. What did you see from them at a camp, and how do you describe them as a whole, that first year class?
I feel like they came out and did what they needed to do to make this team, make the plays when they were asked to do so, picked up the offense really well, and just did what they needed to do.
Talk about how it comes full circle. I mean, 2021, you're just up from the NFL. You're that younger guy, maybe learning from a guy like Burnham. Lucky Whitehead had been around a couple of years. What's it like going full circle, taking some of these younger guys under your wing?
It just feels good, blessed to be able to play this long, be able to do that, and like you said, take these young guys under my wing and just try to, coach them up and teach them how to become a pro and do it the right way.
We talked at length about what you went through last year, the injury in Winnipeg and starting late. Still some solid numbers. Eclipsed 600 yards with the 38 catches. And here's some milestone watch. You get to 1,000 yards this year, you're going to get to 4,000 for your career. How much do you think about that?
That you asked that, I think about it quite often because I want to play a few more years after this year. And I was just counting them up to see how much it'd take for me to get to 10,000. So if I can get, a few good years in there, I can do that.
Absolutely. How much has the family embraced being up here too now? A long time.
Good. Just excited, man. It's excited that I get a full off season to get prepared for this season and put my talents back on display.
Bake touched on it, the Achilles injury. You come back from it last year. Do you feel like you're 100% now, like you're pre-Achilles injury Keon Hatcher? Or do you feel like maybe you're still not there, but you're compensating in other ways?
No, I definitely felt like I'm 100%. Last year when I came back, I came back a little early, but as Baker said, I went for over a little over 600, so that's not too bad if you were to average that out. That would be a 1,000-yard season. So I'm 100%. I'm ready to go, and I'm just excited about this year and what we got going.
How much do you savor this time around? And I say that because a lot of times when athletes take time away from the game due to injury, they come back and they realize what they've lost and they appreciate it at a different level. Are you at that level now?
Most definitely. Every time I go on the field, I thank God, blessing me to be able to play this game. And yeah, just excited each and every day to get back out there with my teammates and, just play ball.
Keon, looking ahead to Saturday, we're looking like we're going to be 50,000 plus, maybe sold out at BC Place. I mean, thoughts on that? You obviously missed last year's concert kickoff recovering from the Achilles injury, but this year you're going to be in that starting lineup. Thoughts on all that?
Let's give them a show. Let's give them what they want.
Love that. One matchup, I'm looking at Edmonton's depth chart, and you're playing that boundary receiver, that boundary slot back spot. And naturally, the guy across from you looks like it's going to be a guy by the name of Manny Rugamba. Have you thought about that yet, going against Manny?
Nah, most definitely, man. Manny's a good player. He was over here previously the past, I think, like 2 or 3 years. Really good player. And, yeah, I'm just excited for the matchup. Can't wait.
We talked about, off the top, about how not only is this a big game, you're only looking one game at a time, but 4 in a row against the West to start. I mean, this is going to be a dogfight again, isn't it? How much do you think about how these games are going to feel real right away?
Oh, most definitely. They matter off the rip. All these games matter. Like you said, they're in the West, and that's going to determine at the end of the season where we stack up. So, yeah, excited, man. It's going to be a dogfight, and can't wait.
Talking about former teammates, one of those is current again, James Butler. We're going to hear from him in just a few minutes' time, but having JB back, how exciting's that been, and what's he going to bring to the offense?
Super excited that JB's back. I've always felt like he was one of the best backs in these leagues. Super dynamic back, can power, can, take it outside, can catch out the backfield. So I'm just excited to have him back, and can't wait to see what he does out there.
We've talked a lot about how things are different this year, obviously starting with Coach Pierce and his all staff too, but you've been with Coach Jason Tucker throughout your time with the BC Lions, and now it's Coach Kevin Burgoyne with the receivers. Are you kind of what are you seeing from Coach Kevin, or what kind of coach is he? And I know we talked sometimes about Buck kind of having that Winnipeg effect, bringing what he learned over from Coach Mike O'Shea. Do you see that too with Kevin?
A little. I really can't say, man. I know Coach Bergs is a great coach, and he just really teaching us the game inside out more than just receiver things, teaching us about protections and different fronts and blitz pickups and things like that. So that's what I really appreciate about him. He teaching us the real ins and outs of the game.
That's one of the things we touched on in camp, and I asked you what's going to separate some of these younger players from the rest of the pack. And you said it's about the details. It's not necessarily always about catching the football. It's how you block, how you run your route, how you recognize a defense, your coachability, all those things about being a pro. And it's interesting because so many times people always just think, it's just about how many catches you have and how many numbers you put up. But there's so much more to the game, isn't there?
So much more to the game, especially at this level. When you become a professional, like you said, everything is in the details. When you're at this age, everybody can run, everybody can catch. I mean, we've been playing ball our whole life, so that's expected. But like you said, it's about the block, and it's about being in the right spot when you're supposed to be there. And that's what separates a professional from someone who's not able to take that next step.
And just for an example for people that are wondering about an example, maybe we could just talk about maybe you're running a route concept with another receiver on the same side. He has to draw the coverage. If he runs his route hard, draws the coverage, it leaves you open. If he doesn't run it hard, goes at 75%, he's not drawing the coverage, and hence the play's not going to work on your side. So, again, that's just like a little example of what we talk about.
That's a great example. You hit it right on the nail. You got to show up for your teammates, like you said, like I said, be in the right spot at the right time when you're supposed to be there.
Training camp, right from the get-go was evident. Guys like yourself, Justin McInnes, Javon Catoy, very much in sync with Nathan and all the quarterbacks. I mean, how much of that was a product of the time you put in the off-season, whether it was Nathan's mini camp and bonding with the go-karts and everything? How beneficial was that?
I feel like it was very beneficial just getting around the guys, getting a feel for each other some more, When you spend time with people, you get a different feeling for them. You know what I'm saying? You get closer, you create a bond, and that always makes you go harder for that person. So I feel like it was very beneficial, and yeah, man, I'm just excited. I can't wait to see what we do out there this weekend.
two-parter sticking with the quarterbacks. What have you learned about Jeremiah Masoli, and how much has Chase Bryce developed, I guess, in year 3 for him now here?
Starting off with Masoli, I love Masoli. A great pickup, a great leader. Has been around the game for a long time and has seen a lot. And he shows that, and he helps out, with the younger guys, with myself, and just seeing the big picture of the game of football. And so I'm happy that we picked Masoli up. And with Chase, his development has been really well. I feel like every time he stepped in, he's done a good job, I just can't wait to see, when his time comes, what he does with it.
Couple more minutes with Keon Hatcher on First and Now on location here at Goodco Granville.
I guess Chase Bryce isn't as good as a go-karter of you, though. So I was actually there for that in the minicamp. And the funny story, too, is so we were miking guys up for their go-kart rounds, and we were thinking ahead of time of who'd be good to, get some sound bites out of. So we're like, naturally Stanley Berryhill would be one. Then we're like, Keon Hatcher, always good with the camera and everything, too. We put the mic on Keon, and how many words did you say that whole go-kart?
I don't know. I was very, very focused, very locked in. I was trying to beat the fastest time, and fun fact, I got top 10 fastest times that week. So I think I finished like 8. Yeah.
Have you guys planned to go back yet?
Yeah, I've been trying to go back, man. Nobody trying to get on the track with me.
The clip I liked was we posted it, I think, as part of the Arrow Up shorts. Nathan O'Rourke just hanging out on top, looking down at everyone, making sure everyone's having a good time.
When Pearson crashed, there was a lot of crashes.
There was a lot of crashes.
Pearson, of course, would crash.
It gets hot out there on the track, man. You got to watch out.
As far as Saturday against Edmonton, we've hit on a couple of the matchups, and we've talked a lot about what's happening beforehand. You, of course, front and center when we announced Snoop Dogg and Kamloops in the middle of practice. How much fun was that to be a part of, and how much of a Snoop guy are you?
I think it was a great pick by the owner. I'm excited about it. I don't think he's missed yet. So can't wait to see Snoop do his thing, go up there, and yeah.
You going to try and sneak out and catch any of it, or is it all business at that point?
I don't know. It depends on the mood. Depends on how I'm feeling when I get to the stadium. So we'll see when I get there.
Seen it perform live before?
Huh?
You've seen Snoop perform live?
No,
before?
I haven't. I've only been to like 2 concerts in my life.
Seen him twice.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Was it good?
Yeah. Saw him at the DirecTV party in San Fran, Super Bowl with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
And then I saw him at the Playboy party.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember what it was.
VIP.
Hey,
Right,
I'm going to tell you a story like this is completely crazy. So in December, I was going down to Phoenix, and I bump into this. I see this guy in the airport. This guy got this black Raider jacket on, like it's all leathered up, looks pretty good. I just came up to him and said, "Hey, man, I really like your jacket." He goes, "Hey, no problem, right? Blah, blah, blah." So I go down to the Snoop concert. I'm in the crowd. I bump into a guy. Believe it or not, it's Andy Fantuz, CFL Hall of Famer.
Oh, wow.
And Fantuz is down there. And I said, I think I know that guy on stage. It's the guy from the airport with the jacket. And he's on stage. Like Snoop's kind of got like this one area in the corner where he's spinning. There's like 7 high chairs where it's kind of like his people are sitting. Guy's name's Max Sean 100. Wow. That's who he is. He's a rapper. And I see the guy, and I'm like, call him over. I go, "You in the Vancouver?" He goes, "Yeah." And we start talking.
That's crazy.
Next thing you know, it's tequila shots on the stage, watching Snoop perform spin from the stage.
Got on the stage.
It was like crazy.
Lit.
It was like, I was
That's
just like crazy.
Story.
So anyway, when he came, like we exchanged numbers, all that, because he came up to Vancouver for a couple of events. But anyway, I was asking him if he was coming up for the concert. He's in the middle of shooting a TV show or something like that.
Man, that's
my Snoop story.
That's a nice story for sure. I hope I get a Snoop story.
Yeah. Well, let's arrange it. Let's get a. We got to get him into the locker room after the. Yeah. Hey, listen, Keon, this is fabulous. Mentioned it in store for some big things this year, closing in on some more milestones, and winning's the most important milestone.
Most definitely. Need that great cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
That cup.
That's the elusive goal.
Mendo.
And you put these milestones up, it's going to help the team win. So
most definitely.
Everybody wins. Thanks for doing it, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks, Keon.
Nice shirt, by the way, too.
Some new gear we got.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
Love it. The new
British
gear.
Columbia,
Look good,
Lions
feel
football.
good, play great.
Yes, sir.
As a former Lions quarterback once told me. First and Now, presented by World Vision Canada, will continue in just a couple of minutes. Lions running back James Butler, the last time he was here, eclipsed 1,000 yards in 2022. We'll get JB's thoughts on the season ahead. Nik Kowalski's world-famous trivia. It's going to be fun. And we'll remind everyone of all the other exciting elements happening on Saturday. First and Now on 730 CKNW.
BC Lions fans, it's time to make history. Join us as the BC Lions kick off the 2025 CFL season. And guess what? The one and only Snoop Dogg will be performing live at the game on Saturday, June 7th. Presented by BC Fed. Show starts at 5:45 p.m., so get there early. Followed by the Lions taking on the Edmonton Elks. Visit bclions.com for more info and get ready to roar as one. Tickets are moving fast, so don't wait.
You're listening to more of First and Now, presented by Coors Light. Once again, here are Matt Baker and Bob the Moj Marjanovic.
It is Matt Baker, it is the Moj, and Nik Kowalski.
Not fixed on the fly here.
Yeah. First and Now is a presentation of World Vision Canada. Shout out to Jason and the entire crew here at Good Co on Main Street. Love this spot. Excellent patio outside. Those here can enjoy $4 Coors Lights and $17.50 Smash Burgers. I know JB was checking out the menu. We had to pull him away to join us. It is Lions running back James Butler back home where it all started. On site, JB, how are you?
I'm excited to be back. I love BC. I feel like I'm coming home.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, you never got rid of your Lions gear, did you? You kept it in the...
I just put it in the basement, you know. Once they signed me back, I wiped the dust off the orange cleats and brought them back, so I'm excited.
Take us back to the off season. I think it was around the New Year where you came back before free agency after you were freed by Hamilton. Was it a no-brainer? Describe it.
Yeah, honestly, after the year I had with Hamilton, I didn't really know how many opportunities I would have left playing because, you know, obviously getting a little bit older, running back position is always a tough position. But it was a no-brainer. Like, I've always loved BC. I feel like I've been very adamant about that my whole career, so it was an easy decision.
Why is BC such a good fit?
I just feel like personally, like I've always loved the West Coast. I know I'm a Midwest guy, but I've always loved the West Coast. First time ever going to the West Coast is when I went to school in Nevada. Had a lot of success there. Had never seen mountains before. I just think it's something about when I can see some water and some mountains, I breathe a little bit easier. So I think it's a great place.
We talk about a great fit off the field, but on the field, Buck Pierce's new offense, I know we've chatted before, and you're really excited. And I think one of the things you told me was like, I can see why Brady Oliveira has so much success in this offense. Why do you think that offense is a very good fit for a running back with your skills?
Yeah, 100%. Like, obviously Brady's great. You know, that's never, like me saying that never takes away from Brady, but yeah, you can just see over the last few years, just look at the stats, who's been the leading rusher of the CFL. It's been Brady, and obviously it's been under Coach Buck. So I just feel like he's a coach that believes in the run, that is going to run it, and he believes in a physical team. And usually, you know, physical teams like to run the ball. So I think that's why I'm so excited about it.
Well, after 2023, JB, I think I cracked the code of why you wanted to come back. Was you wanted to play at BC Place again, right? Because we talk about the 2022 home opener with 4 touchdowns. You return in 2023 with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who scored twice. Use the Wildcat too, right? But you thought about that yet? That Saturday you're gonna be back at BC Place, but this time on the right side?
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I've always said I love playing at BC Place. It's something about playing in that dome. My mom will be in the stands, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I love playing at BC Place. I've had some of my best games in my CFL career in BC Place. So yeah, it's always just it's something about the fans and the atmosphere. It just really makes you want to get after it.
Talk about going back to 2022, that 4 touchdown game in the home opener. In the moment, were you thinking like, wow, like I'm in the end zone again, or how did that all go about?
Honestly, I'm mad because I feel like I should have got 5. I should have got 5, but I got a little tired by that second half because I remember. I think they gave me the ball a couple times at the 5-yard line and I didn't get in. And then I remember Mike O'Connor, he was like, I'm so mad I got to QB sneak this in. This should be your touchdown. Even after he got it in, he's like, that should have been your touchdown. But yeah, honestly, like when games like that, it's just you just get in a flow state of games. And obviously I got to give a lot of that to O-line, to Nate, to the receivers. So, like, you know, that wasn't me because obviously, you know, half of those touchdowns were from Nate.
Yeah, that's what a special night that was. I think 59-15 and the start of what was a very special run there for a team that got back into contention. How would you compare this team you're coming back to that team? Because remember, going into that year, maybe there were some question marks. Remember, people were still wondering about what Nathan Rourke was going to do, new faces like there always tends to be. How would you compare this year to that team?
Yeah, I feel like every year, every team performs their own identity as the season goes on, and at that team it was a lot of question marks. There was question marks with Nate, question marks with the receivers, question marks with me because it was like my first time like really starting. So it was just like we had a lot to prove, and now I feel like this year we have even more to prove because I feel like even going into this year, it's still a lot of question marks. Even though like you know a lot of us have been proven in the league, but we're still got that like. We want to prove to the league and the stands and the fans that we can still do that at a high level.
Yeah, 2021 was your first year here, but I think you were behind Shaq Cooper, Chris Rainey. Yeah. Yep. Describe that experience, waiting for a shot and having to sort of prove your worth. What was that like?
I'm always proving my worth. I'm proving my worth today. You know, I feel like I'm never not proving my worth. I feel like even like that last team meeting in Kamloops, I'm checking my phone, making sure, because you never know. I feel like it's never a given that you're gonna make the team. I feel like, and people were like laughing at me, like JB, like why are you so happy? Because I'm like, we broke team meeting. I'm like, congrats on making the team, fellas. Congrats on making the team. Like it's never a given, especially in how hard these Canadian rosters are. Like I think you only can have like 19 or 20 of us. So just constantly trying to prove myself to this day. So just like even then, but it was nice to have a veteran like Shaq, like Rainey that can really show me the ropes. So I just felt like I've learned a lot from them and I still learn a lot from them today. So just trying to be a good veteran myself.
You touched on the identity. What is the identity of this team moving forward?
I feel like every team forms their own identity as the season goes on. So I feel like we're just every game is a chance to prove your identity to yourself and to the team that you're playing against. So I feel like because I feel like as practice goes on, there's flashes and there's great plays, but then like obviously we just got to see it and put it in real games, and I feel like that's going to form our identity.
So what will the identity be? We hear about grit, we hear about toughness, we hear about all these adjectives out there. In your mind, give me one adjective to describe this football team.
Physical, exciting, big plays, having fun, playing with a smile, enjoying it, family, together. Don't care who gets the credit. That once you see someone else make a play, it's only gonna make you want to make a play. It's just it's so many guys on this team that I love, that I'm fans of, that I can't wait to see them make a play. That it's only gonna inspire me to go, okay, he made that play, I want to go one up that play. That he's gonna try to one up that play, and we're all just gonna try to play together.
When we speak about the differences from 2022 to 2025. Talk about the running back room. Did you look over during training camp? And I don't know if you pay attention to the CFL too, like across the league too much when you're in Hamilton, but there's a guy named Riley Pickett in your running back room now, who was a defensive lineman in 2022, special teamer.
Yeah.
His career arc, like, is that fascinating to you? And what have you seen from the growth of Riley as he adjusts not only to another side of the ball, but brand new position?
Yeah, Pickett's like a Swiss Army knife, man. Could go sack the quarterback, could snap it to you after the play, and then go catch a flat route for 50. You know what I'm saying? So I just think in the CFL or just playing football, it's always the more you can do. The more you can do. Like, I've always prided myself on just being able to try to do everything exceptionally well, and I think Pickett has done that, and he's only made strides of only really playing this position like fully for a whole year. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year for sure.
What about a guy like Xander Horvath too? He made the team coming off the roster. I think he kind of embodies that too, right? Because I believe in each preseason game he had special teams tackles. But watching the preseason games yourself this past 2 weeks, what did you see from a guy like Xander?
Man, Z's is a big body guy that you think would be like a fullback, but runs like a running back. You know, he's as fast as a running back. He can make moves. He can also run through you. I think he's 6'3", 240, something like that. He's huge. So I'm excited, and I've honestly never played in the CFL where there's been 2 American backs up, so it'll be new for me too. So I'm super excited for it. I'm excited for Z. I think he's gonna ball out for sure.
When you look at this big opener on Saturday, talked about it with Hatch, and off the top, it's an Edmonton team that improved on paper, has aspirations to get back into contention. Mm-hmm. How much do you embrace this challenge?
Yeah, I feel like every opportunity to go out there and play versus another opponent is exciting. I know Edmonton went and got pretty much everybody in free agency that they could, and they got a couple guys that are my friends that are excited. So I'm super excited for the opportunity.
We talked about being more physical. A lot of that on the offense starts, of course, up front. Mm-hmm. You know, saw Dijon get into practice and in the game at the end. The offensive lines had a couple moving parts. What's your sense of how well that position group has developed?
Very well. I feel like just as camp went on, they've only gotten better. They've only made strides. Like, this has been a new offense for all of us. So it's definitely been a learning curve for us all. But as the season, as camp went on, and as like even today's practice, I just feel like they're starting to move as one unit for sure.
You touched on one adjective when you were talking about the team. You said family, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's one thing that I've kind of seen with Buck Pierce, what he's done in training camp. There seems to be a lot more interaction among the players, and not just within your position group, but players on the other side of the ball. And, you know, just for an example, at the end of practice, everybody's shaking everyone's hand.
Yeah.
I've seen situations in the end zone up in Kamloops where the offensive line and defensive line would pair up, and they just talk about technique and go through things. Do you notice that? I mean, how Buck is kind of emphasizing that family aspect and getting guys to communicate with one another? Yeah,
it was so funny. Actually, today I was asking Coach Chris, and I was like, because he always says Catalina at the end of practice. I was like, what does Catalina mean? Like, is that like...
You see Step Brothers.
Like the Catalina wine mixer?
Yeah.
I thought, but I was like, what does that actually mean? He's like, oh, get together. I said, oh, that's what Catalina means. I'm just like, I hear Catalina, I know we're out of practice. But yeah, you've seen, we've done that. Then even like, I remember it was one day in camp, we had one-on-ones with the linebackers, but it wasn't really one-on-ones. We were just telling them our routes and telling them what we can do to manipulate them if they do this. And I was like, doesn't this kind of go against what we should do? I kind of like don't want them to know my secrets of how I'm trying to manipulate. But yeah, I just feel like Buck has really created like a togetherness and a familyness type of atmosphere here.
Funny story about the Catalina quickly. On day 1 of rookie camp, Buck yells Catalina, and all the rookies are kind of just standing there, and then he goes, have you guys ever seen Step Brothers? It's Catalina wine mixer, and that's why they all shake hands. Yeah. So my producer mind is like, okay, tomorrow we're going to get this on camera just to document it, right?
Yeah.
He never said it again. I think it was understood that what Catalina meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're seeing that family aspect, though. I know like guys like Josh Woods, you're really close with on this team. I know before Dom Rhymes and everybody, but just feels good to be reunited overall.
No, I was saying like this is the most I've laughed and like smiled at like a training camp. You know, like it's the most fun I have. I feel like, and I even being in 20 again makes me just feel like it makes me feel young. Even seeing Hatch, I've been with Hatch for like my whole football career. That's a funny story. Like my first day at the Raiders, Hatch was leading the team in the special teams drills, showing us how to do it, and it was so funny. So just seeing like Hatch has watched me go through my whole career. So it's just been having guys like that around here. It's just it makes you want to play better when you know you're playing with your brother, someone who you care about. You know, I know their families. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that whatever I do, it's for me and it's also for them and their families.
How excited are you for Snoop Dogg? I saw you react very happily to the announcement there on the field. Are you going to try and sneak out, or what's your plan?
I don't know. I'm kind of like what Hash said. It'll. We'll see. Probably not though. I like before games I'll be locked in. I'm gonna leave it up to my mama she'll have 20 videos of Snoop Dogg, so she'll show me all the videos, tell me all about it. So I'll live vicariously through her.
You still podcasting? What's going on there?
I dabble. It's tough to do it by yourself, but I love podcasting. I want to get into it, especially when I'm done. I would really like to hop in the media space, hop in one of y'all's seats.
You were talking before we went on air about your living arrangements.
Yeah.
So when you were here before, you roomed with Aiden Eberhardt. Aiden, of course.
No. So
was it Josh?
No. So my first year I actually lived with Hatch, and I lived with Shaq.
Okay.
I went three people, and then my second year I lived with Dom Rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you were talking about maybe living with Aiden, but Aiden and...
No, so and then I went to Hamilton, and I was going to live with Jameer because I was so used to having roommates.
Jameer Thurman, right?
Yeah, Jameer Thurman. He's like, I don't do roommates. And, like, I was like, I didn't want to ask somebody I didn't know to room with me because I don't know people's cleanliness, and I'm very cleanly. So I was like, all right, I'll just live by myself. Then I love living by myself. So I got out here. I would have lived with Josh, but Josh was already living with Aiden.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was like, well, looks like I got to live by myself again.
But that's a good thing, though.
That's good.
Because, like, especially if you're OCD. Are you OCD?
I'm very OCD. Like, I will not do a dirty bathtub. I will not do a dirty toilet seat. Like, if my apartment or room's a mess, my life must be a mess.
So, like, if you come home and you see dishes in the sink, you lose it.
I'm not leaving dishes in the sink that night before. I'm the type, I'm cooking as I'm washing dishes.
Yeah.
I'm eating, I'm washing the dishes. I'm drinking, I'm washing the dishes. So they're already clean by the next morning.
Who did you room with in Kamloops?
A Big Cat.
How did that go?
Javon Catoy, yes.
Yeah, Big
rate
Cat.
him as
Yeah,
a
I mean,
roommate.
we both had Kamloops is nice because you get your own room, one bathroom. So it's like kind of like we all got our own space and just got to share a bathroom. So it's not really like a shared space.
Like a true college atmosphere. It's good,
Yeah.
yeah. Great setup. Hey, listen, thrilled to have you back. We appreciate you making an appearance, and we expect a lot of, you said it, happy, everyone's smiling, having a good time, and winning will only make that even more frequent.
One game at a time. We're going to win the Grey Cup. Like Hatch said, we're going to win the Grey Cup 2025. Princess Auto, see you there. You heard it here first.
There we go. One game at a time, but everyone, we're striving toward that goal. James Butler, the pride of Iowa, hails from Chicago. I got that right, yes.
Best city in the
A
world.
Midwest guy turned, I know Moj loves Chicago. I've not had the pleasure of being outside of O'Hare Airport. Got to change that. But
Got to get you a deep dish pizza.
yes, let's do it.
Carmine's down at the
Plain that.
triangle.
Yeah.
Well.
Bye week. Let's go. We're coming with you.
Okay.
If you need a roommate, we're coming with you.
I don't know what that.
Chicago cut. Beautiful
Yeah.
steakhouse.
JB, appreciate it, my friend. And we're back with a little bit of trivia. We'll talk about some things we're looking for on Saturday. And we'll start to hype up the street party and everything else on First and Now, live on location at Goodco on Main Street.
This is First and Now, presented by Coors Light, the chill choice and official beer of the BC Lions. Now it's time for Nik Kowalski's world-famous trivia.
Yes, from Transcona to Timbuktu, Kowalski's world-famous trivia. How'd you like that, Moj? Before we get to that, very quickly, concert kickoff, of course, Saturday presentation presented by BC Federation of Labor. Fans asking you to get inside quickly. 5:45 p.m. Get to your seats to ensure you don't miss any of the pregame concert with Snoop Dogg himself. Backyard party presented by PlayNow Sports gets going at 2 on Terry Fox Plaza. Portion of the street there at Robson and Beatty will be blocked off as well. $5 beers courtesy Molson Coors, and how about this to mark the occasion? Gin and juice for $8. We won't. We'll indulge on those post-game, perhaps. We're accepting cash donations for Purelator Tackle Hunger inside Section 204. Fans who donate get their picture with the Grey Cup. 50-50 jackpot. Guaranteed $150,000 with the winner taking home a minimum prize of $75,000. Our 50-50 program presented by Prospera Credit Union. Going to be a special day.
Yeah, my mom's going to love that Transcona reference or shout out. So
I know my audience.
Appreciate
That's
the
good.
T-Town. We're there in 9 days, fellas. We're in Winnipeg in 9 days.
You know the best
Winnipeg.
part about Winnipeg? I'm not staying the night before.
Yeah, he
I'm
put it in
flying
his
day of. I'm like, yes, I only have to spend the minimum amount of time in Winnipeg. What? I'm going to be in there probably maybe 12 hours.
So no Palomino for you on Wednesday night?
No, nothing. I'm in and
Okay.
out. Just like this can be like a surgical operation. Just like the Marines, Navy SEALs. I'm flying in at 1:55. Go to the hotel, change, da bing, bada boom on the bus for play-by-play, boom, fly back.
It's efficient. I like that.
Love that.
All right, what do we got, Nikki?
Trivia, as we alluded to, it is geography-based. So you guys have studied your BC Lions roster. It's finalized. I'll say in advance, this is the active roster, so I did not account the practice roster for this, for example. But we are going multiple choice. And my first question is, from which province are the most BC Lions players from? We have Quebec, BC, Saskatchewan, or Ontario?
Quebec.
What do you got, Baker?
Saskatchewan.
You guys are both incorrect. It's BC. We've added some BC boys
Oh!
this year. Can you guys name? There's 7 BC players on this team now. Can you name them all?
Ben Haladik.
Yep.
Couture.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
Couple guys.
Jackson
here.
Finley.
Yeah, there's a new one.
So how many more?
4.
4 more.
Still 4
On
more.
the active or practice?
Active.
Just active.
You got 2 on defense, 1 on offense, and 1 on specials.
Covington.
Covington is the D line.
Yeah.
There's a pretty popular one on offense. I would say so myself.
Nathan Rourke.
And Nathan Rourke, that guy's from British Columbia.
Is he? I guess he was
Yeah.
born in
Victoria, yeah.
Okay.
And then we're looking at a guy.
I told you were going to stump me tonight. There you go.
What about a vet on defense? New vet on defense.
New vet on defense.
Yeah.
Micah Owie's not from BC.
Sneaky signing, I think. Underrated.
Adam Konar.
Adam Konar,
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go.
From Vancouver. And
Yeah.
then there was one more
Good
in
job.
this, and he's a specialist.
How many for Quebec?
We have 5 from Quebec.
One more specialist from
7-5.
BC.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Hit me.
Come on, guys.
Whitey.
Sean White. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's him.
All right. Let's flip to America.
Whitey's
From
going to be
which state?
so upset.
Let's flip to America, though. From which state
Oh,
are
boy.
the most BC Lions players from? So
California.
We have California, we have Texas, we have Georgia, and we have Arizona.
California.
Yeah, I was going to say California.
It's not even close now. It's California. It's
Yeah.
six guys from California.
So on the active only, right? So
Yes.
no injured?
Yes, no injury.
Okay.
So
It's like the big factories are California, Florida, Texas.
Dijon
Steel
Allen.
Belt.
last year we famously did not have a player from Florida on our roster. That was one of the questions. And that kind of segues nice into my next one. So believe it or not, the BC Lions have 0 players from this state in America. The answers or the options are Indiana, Florida, Mississippi, or Oklahoma.
Okay, are you determining whether they played university or whether they're born there?
Born. So
Let's
0
go-
players born.
Let's go Florida, because you just said
Oklahoma, and what were the other 2 options?
Mississippi and Indiana. So we have 0 players from one of these states.
Florida.
What do you got, Baker?
Indiana.
You guys are both wrong. It's Mississippi. Xander Horvath is from Indiana.
Yeah.
Deontay Williams is from
Oh.
Florida. And Keon Hatcher Sr. is from Oklahoma. So there's
He's
him.
right. That's right. Yeah.
We also have players from South Carolina, Jeremy Lewis, New Jersey, Kimoku Ture. So some more states we got going on here. Here we go. Who is from the town with the smallest population? So we have Tyler Coyle, Chris Schluger, Chase Bryce, or Tomase
Slugger.
Leale.
I was going to say Slugger. We
Slugger.
talked about it last year.
Yeah, Slugger still holds the belt for
Yeah.
that. Wesley, Iowa has a population of 383 people.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show last year at Boston Pizza there.
And
Yep.
he's still the reigning champ. So to round this out, this one has a new answer, actually. So who from North America was born the furthest from Vancouver in terms of distance? So
North
actually measure
America?
this. Yeah,
Okay.
North America. So here are your options. Tyler Coyle, Kimoku Ture, Deontay Williams, or Jarrell Broxton. These are the 4 furthest, too. Like, they're actually on top 4.
Broxton's from like Baltimore, so
Yep.
Maryland, right? Yeah.
Baltimore,
I'd
yep.
scratch him.
And
Who are the other
I'm going
ones?
to go
Deontay, Ture, and Tyler Coyle.
Deontay.
Deontay.
Yeah.
You guys are right. It's Deontay
Yeah.
Williams. Jacksonville is
Florida.
4,050 kilometers away from here. But Windsor, Connecticut, the birthplace of Tyler Coyle, is 3,940 kilometers. So pretty close. So there's a trivia. You guys did solid.
Apologies to Sean White for. There's a specialist there. Who's the specialist? All right. Very good. That's one of my favorite parts of the program.
You're
So,
studying your roster. Yeah.
well done. All right, very quickly, about to wrap up here from Goodco Main Street. Just quick final thought. What are you looking for Saturday? What are you excited to see?
What am I looking for? We've talked about it. Grit, toughness. I want to see how both lines perform. Can the defense stop the run? Can the offense open up the running game?
I'm looking at the defensive secondary. We talked about it last year where there was different groups throughout the rest of the season. We've talked about it where it's going to be Gary Peters, but who else is going to be in those positions? And where are they going to be? A guy like Deontay Williams is here for year 1. Christophe Beaulieu in year 2. But where are these other pieces going to shake out?
Well said. I'm looking forward to seeing just how creative this offense is going to be. We just heard from James Butler. How well utilized will he be catching balls out of the backfield? That's an element, of course, that he brings, and one of the reasons they brought him back. Very much looking forward to it. Lions, Elks, right here on 730 CKNW. Moj and Julia with the call pregame 6 o'clock?
6:30.
6:30, okay.
Oh, no, pardon me.
6
7 o'clock kickoff, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock,
yeah.
yep.
Oh, there's 6.
Reminder, be in your seats early, 5:45 for Snoop Dogg. A backyard party presented by PlayNow Sports underway at 2 o'clock. Matt Baker, Nik Kowalski, and the Moj, Bob Marjanovic, voice of your BC Lions. Thanks to Jason and the entire staff here at Goodco on Main Street. And we'll be back next week to tee up week 2 at Winnipeg and recap what we hope is going to be a Lions victory over the Edmonton Elks on Saturday at Save-On-Foods Field at BC Place. This has been First and Now, presented by World Vision Canada, official charity partner of your BC Lions. Be back next week.
BC Lions fans, it's time to make history. The one and only Snoop Dogg will be performing live at the game on Saturday, June 7th, presented by BC Fed. Visit bclions.com for more info and get ready to roar as one.
Okay, and we're back on First and Now. A bit of a bonus session for those listeners on the podcast. Every week we do it, and it's a great week to talk Lions with our guy Cam Tucker from BCLC and PlayNow Sports. PlayNow, by the way, proud partner of the Backyard Party. Cam will be out there drinking gin and juice on Saturday. Us chumps know we're working, but Cam, it's good to be here with you.
Yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to it. What a great day! Like the weather's getting great. It feels like summer now, and it's time. It's time to kick off this CFL season. It's time to kick off the Lions season. I think the excitement's been building for this week. You got Snoop coming to town. He's going to do his show, and then they're going to get down to business here. The Lions and the Elks are going to get down to business. I think it should be a good game. The one thing, I think the Edmonton Elks a few years ago might have been pushovers in the CFL. I don't see that happening again this year. I think it's going to be a good matchup, and it's about time we get the season going.
Lions, as it stands now, a 5.5-point favorite, 1.40 on the money line.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. And really no surprise that the BC Lions would open as the favorite going into this game and minus 5.5. So for those who are new to sports betting, if you take the Lions minus 5.5, they do have to win the game by 6 points or more for them to cover the spread. And really interesting because it's similar. It's a similar line to what we saw in 2022 when Nathan Rourke burst onto the scene. His first year as the team's starting quarterback. I believe the Lions were favored in that game by 4.5 or 5 points. So it is really similar. The money line odds in 2022 were 1.50. So for this one, they are a little bit lower. I think the odds makers are projecting the Lions to win this game. I feel pretty confident about it. So the money line odds at 1.44, they did move a little bit this afternoon. But it's really interesting right now. The Lions are taking the lion's share of the money. We look at the money line odds of 1.44, like we said. 73% of the handle is actually on the BC Lions to win this game, and 72% of the bets are on the Lions. So right away, the bettors in the NBC are thinking that the Lions are going to win this game. And then you look at the point spread, minus 5.5. 79% of the bets that we've taken on the point spread right now are on the BC Lions to cover. The really interesting thing here is the money. 97% of money wagered on the point spread. 97% on the BC Lions minus 5.5. So that's an indication right there that we've taken a little bit of bigger money on the Lions to cover the spread. There's a lot of bettors out there that feel very confident that the Lions are going to win this game by 6 or more points. So really interesting to start the season. We'll see how those bet trends maybe change in the lead up to Saturday's game. But right now, in terms of the money line and the point spread, we're taking considerable amount of money on the BC Lions to win and to cover.
And Cam, when it comes to the team totals, I understand PlayNow has lines up for the first half team totals and the full game team totals. What can you tell us about those lines that are available?
Yeah, so the one that caught my eye right out of the gate was the BC Lions team total at the first half of 13.5 points. And the reason that caught my eye is my expectation for this game is the Lions are going to try to get out to a very fast start with this offense. So right there, they've actually covered the over 13.5 team total points in 2 of their last 3 season openers, and a couple of years ago against Calgary, they missed it by just 1 point. So I think that is 13 and a half on the over is a really interesting number for bettors to maybe look at. Because my expectation for the Lions is they are going to want to get off to a good start. They're going to want to keep the energy in the crowd going throughout the evening. And I think that this offense, just coming into the season with the players that they have, there's a lot to prove. And with Nathan Rourke, we've talked about him now in a few segments where it's really his time to kind of regain that form that he showed us back in 2022 when he burst on the scene. He was having this ridiculous start to the season, and looking at the reports from the preseason finale against Edmonton, he looked very good, looked very in control of the game, and that's what you want to see right before they start playing for real. So I think over 13 and a half total points for the Lions in the first half is a really interesting bet. But then again, we come back to it. We said off the top that, the Elks maybe in years past were maybe a little bit of a pushover in the West. And I don't think that's going to be the case. They were really aggressive in free agency this offseason. They really bolstered their defense. So I think that this is going to be a tough game, or a tougher game for the Lions than maybe they've experienced in years past. But I do believe that, especially on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to want to try to establish themselves and put some points on the board early, keep the energy up on the sidelines. Don't give Edmonton any real reason to hang around in this game. I think that they're going to be pretty aggressive right off the hop. And so that's why I do like the over 13 and a half BC Lions total points. And then for the game, it's right now it's between 26 and a half points for the BC Lions team total and 27 and a half points. So again, and that's one where the odds makers thinking that the Lions are going to put some points on the board in their home opener. And it should be an interesting game. I think offensively, if you were looking for a spark, from the Lions offense, he definitely got it last week with the performance of Nathan Rourke going into the season opener.
All right, for those looking for some good parlays this Saturday, tell us about this big boost you got going on.
Yeah, so this was one, and again, this is kind of rolls off of what we just talked about with the Lions. So we are going to be looking to price up a parlay, a pre-built same-game parlay. The BC Lions to win by 6 or more points. That's the first leg. The second leg is the BC Lions to score 14 or more points in the first half. And then the third leg of that parlay is Nathan Rourke 2+ touchdown passes. Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. Like we talked about the Lions minus 5.5 on the point spread. So I do think that they are going to win this game by 6 or more points, even though it's going to be a tougher contest. I still do like them in that range of winning the game by 6 or more points. And then looking at the first half team total, again, we talked about it. The Lions, they need to get off to a fast start, and I think that that's what they're going to do. And then Nathan Rourke 2+ touchdown passes. Looking what he was able to do against Edmonton and in his first season as a starter, he's a pretty electrifying player when he's at the top of his game. I expect that we're going to see a very good Nathan Rourke in the season opener, and so that's why I like 2+ touchdown passes for the BC Lions quarterback as well. We're going to package that bet all together. We're going to put a nice little boost on it ahead of kickoff on Saturday, so it should be a lot of fun.
All right, love that action. Okay, my friend, where can people find any other amazing lines for the CFL Week 1? It all gets going Thursday night, remember, with Saskatchewan and Ottawa.
Yeah, and we have our lines up now for the full slate of CFL games this weekend. So you go to PlayNow.com, check out the sportsbook, PlayNow.com/sports. There's CFL markets right now are up on site. And for the odds boost, if you want to go check that out, we do have an odds boost section that's going to feature several CFL bets that we're going to give a nice little boost to, give our players a little bit of excitement and value going into the first week of the season.
All right. Excellent stuff. We will see you at the game on Saturday, and we'll talk next week and every week on First and Now with Between the Lines. Let's go.
Boys, I can't wait. You know what I'm excited about, too, is the first game of the season. I'm going to be out in my backyard. I'm going to be barbecuing a nice little dinner, and we're going to keep that excitement going throughout the whole weekend. Should be a lot of fun, and we're going to cap it, of course, with the BC Lions on Saturday. I can't wait. It's about time. Let's go.
All right. We'll get a selfie with Snoop Dogg while we're at it. Talk next week, sir.
See you guys. Bye.
All right, Cam Tucker joining us each and every week puts a nice little bow on a solid first episode. We had a good turnout, great turnout at Goodco. Love talking with JB and Keon Hatcher, and we look forward to the next live recording, July 8th. More details to come, Nikki. Jam-packed. I love it.
Great hanging out with the fellas, and Cam got me fired up there. I'm ready for Saturday. Gotta get at it.
Let's go. First and now, wherever you get your podcast, be sure to subscribe, rate, leave a review. It's all on our YouTube page. We did 4 outstanding episodes in Cam Loops. In case you weren't totally up on the training camp content, there you go. We got you covered. First and now, a presentation of World Vision Canada, official charity partner of your BC Lions. We'll be back next Tuesday and Wednesday to tee up Winnipeg.